Well, welcome to the third quarterfinal of the FIBA U19 Basketball World Cup. The United States of America and Russia will face off here in Heraklion. And we've already had two great ones in the first two quarterfinals, and this could be anything. Two of the biggest names in world basketball in a quarterfinal of a World Cup just is a real appetite whetter. It's just, will Russia have, well, I'd say to you, Lloyd Gardner, who's with me, as he has been all afternoon, will Russia have the belief that they can beat the United States of America?
Why not? You know, this is a do-or-die game now for Russia, so they come in, they've got nothing to lose. The US come in as the favourites. They come in with the pressure of expectation, you know, the pressure of being a team which is always up there in this World Basketball Cup, you know, a team which has won 6 golds and 3 silvers, trying to regain their title that they lost last year. So for Russia, I think that they can play without that expectation.
Well, just about to get into the individual player introductions. Here's the schedule, and the United States and Russia coming up next on that schedule. Overtime game, Lithuania got the win over Serbia. Mali made their first ever semi-final, and the nightcap game later on this evening, Canada and France. So the winner of this game will in fact play Lithuania, who've had to go that extra 5 minutes in the win over Serbia. Well, player introductions, the United States, who went, not surprisingly, 3-0 in the competition. Russia, who had a more difficult journey into this quarterfinal, but still one of the biggest powers of world basketball, Lloyd.
Yeah, and they're just relentless, the Americans. They have such strength in depth as well. You look all down their roster, makes them so difficult for the Russians. You know, they've got their pieces though. Alexander Urshov leads the way, but you know, in Nikita Mikhailovsky, they've got another, you know, great offensive player. The man that's had the first triple-double in this competition since 2013 in his victory in the Russian victory over Greece in Group C action.
Well, Russia, in fact, the only team to come out of their preliminary group. The other teams that qualified, you know, in the last 16 got beat. So I don't know what that says about that group. They were 2-1 in group play. Not surprising, as we said, the Americans had a 3-0 record. They a fairly straightforward round of 16 game. And for me, that's always the issue for sometimes for the States when they first time come up against a tougher team. Have they had too easy a ride? Are they in fact ready for a tough game? We'll only find out in the next few minutes, and we'll talk about it more after the national anthems, and we'll start off with Russia. The national anthem of the United States of America. Well, we're going to get a look at the two rosters. After we've had a look at the third team on the floor, the three officials who will be officiating today's game. Antonio Conde from Spain, Young Zhu, and that was a quick graphic from Taipei, and we'll give you the name check in a moment when I get a chance to have a look. Here is the roster for Russia, a roster that is 2-1 in the group. Got the win yesterday under the very experienced Evgeny Pashutin in the coaching role, Lloyd, and it's a Russian team that one of the strongest teams coming out of Europe's under-18 championships last year.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. They're led by Shoff, who I talked about, the shooting guard. 42% he is shooting the three, one of the best three-point shooters in this competition. Karlovsky as well, which is a really creative guard in that lineup for Russia. The question really, the inside force for them, you know, how are they going to slow down the size, the athleticism of this American team?
Well, there is Evgeny Pashutin, vastly experienced, coaching a significant EuroLeague and Champions League, Europe Cup club teams, now in charge of this under-19 team. Here's the United States roster, Lloyd, and under coach Bruce Weber. This roster, well, 1 to 12 talent from the top to the bottom, every spot on the floor.
That's exactly it. You could pick a host of different players really and pick any of them, because on every different night somebody from the US can step up and do a really impressive job. Halliburton leads the tournament in assists, the point guard there, number 4. Cade Cunningham, you know, is a future star. I've seen him play before at Montverde Academy. I'm a huge fan of his. And you know, Coach Bruce Weber, a man which has won a number of NCAA games. You know, took his team to the 2005 NCAA Final Four when he was at Illinois, now at Kansas State, where he's been since 2012, a legend in the NCAA ranks for the Americans.
Well, as we are just less than a minute and a half away from tip time, as Lithuania proved in their win over the European champion Serbia, this stage of a competition with a one-off game, it's so tough to call Russia. They're going to have to control the ball. I mean, if this gets into a running game, you know the United States have too many weapons, and the Russians are going to have to control tempo as much as anything else before they can start thinking about how they can win this game.
That's absolutely it. You know, this is a team that's, you know, defensively comes with that pressure. They're averaging 16 steals per game, the Americans. And you know, if you're Russia, you're going to have to handle that pressure. They've done pretty well, Russia, up until this point. They're 12th out of the 16 teams in turnovers, if you look at the stats. So they do a good job of looking after the ball, but you know, it's a whole nother world when you're facing off against the Americans. So how are they going to handle that pressure? They do have, you know, their quality in the backcourt, the Russian team, so they have the opportunity to keep the ball in their best players' hands, but you know, the athleticism, as we've talked about from the Americans, it's a different level to every other team here.
Well, and the American team on a bit of a mission after losing this title to Canada in Egypt 2 years ago, and that was a great night in Cairo in terms of some of the stars of the future that were on the floor there. That's what this tournament is as much about as anything else. You know, future stars of world basketball announcing themselves on a world stage. Andrei Kirilenko, one of the greats of Russian basketball, now the president of the federation, was the MVP of this competition when he played for the Russian national team. And that's the quality of player that comes out of this competition, because quite literally, he's still a living legend. And he's in the gym somewhere. We're just trying to locate him. So the Russian national team in red, the American in the USA in white. Wherever you're joining us from, Heraklion, the arena, there's been a great host so far to these championships. Quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals to go, and we are underway here. And the United States will get their first possession, and we'll take it into the half court. Halliburton gets it moving for them. Robinson will move it on. The quick release on the 3 is long. And Russia clean it up on the glass. Zhubeniev gets it into the half court. And Russia trying to space it, spread it. Almost a turnover, probably a walk. In the lane and turned over. USA defense in the lane. Pass on the break, reward the big man. And Perry got down the floor, outworks his opponent, gets to the front of the ring, and you've got to reward the big man when he runs. And the USA did.
They didn't come with the pressure, first possession really, the US, but in the half court, relentless in the passing lanes.
Foul called, and Jalen Suggs picks up the personal.
Ershoff is the man. That's going to be the important matchup. And Suggs slow down Ershoff. Had a great tournament so far.
Backing in. Second move. Gets a soft roll. Finishes. He gets the 2. Cunningham looks underneath. No option. Now they change the angle. Ball knocked away. And the possession will stay with the United States with 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Good possession defensively from Russia, just slowing it down the tempo, controlling it in the half court.
And he didn't get in bounds quick enough. When the pass came back, he was still out of bounds. So Halliburton turns it over. The USA extend the defense. Long side inbound. And Milowski gets it over the half. High pick and roll. Milowski's still got it in the lane, needs a pass, finds one. The 3 from the corner is short. Halliburton hunts it down on the glass, has a chance to push. At speed, gets it up. 3 in the corner on the end of the break is no good. Russia have a chance to go the other way. If they do decide to run, they've got to execute. Off the glass for 2 is no good. And the US come down with it, and the ball's knocked away, but will go back to the United States. Lloyd, I'm not sure, unless you've got the wide open option, that Russia want to run.
Well, they have to be aggressive. You've got to try and find your easy points when you can against the Americans, because in the half court they don't make anything easy. So you want to take those easy opportunities, but when you go, you've got to make sure you're scoring. Because if you go amiss, they're going to grab the rebound and they're going the other way.
So Halliburton into the half court. Stagger away from the ball. Halliburton looks down low, now releases. Come back the other way with the left hand. And the foul called is Reginald Perry tried to create with that second move. Good use of the left hand. And he'll go to the free throw line.
It's a cheap foul to give up.
Yeah.
Really. So a better job not committing that foul at that moment. Forcing Perry to go to his left. His weak hand. It's kind of a hook as he's fading from the basket. Talking going on, and Ershoff's been involved in most of it. On the first possession, he was fouled at one end of the floor, and the American defender came over after the whistle to try and block his shot and not let him score, even though he'd been fouled and play had finished. Ershoff shot it really high so he couldn't get it, and then they exchanged words after the shot attempt, and he's continued. It seems to be there.
It's going to be an offensive foul for the push-off, and the United States defense already giving Russia real issues. Just make a decent cut, you'll get free. You can run a screen if you want to, or need to. Russia staying in the man-to-man at the defensive end. Well, the USA will advance the ball. And ball reverse it. No hesitation, Suggs trying to go to work. Tough one in the lane, is short. Defensive rebound. And Russia made a solid start defensively. Wrap the pass. Defensive effort. Attacking the closeout, shovels it down. Great rotation And Halliburton comes up with a steal. It was all about his rotation on the second trail touch pass. Perry throws it for two. Just let the flyby happen and threw it down hard. And USA in transition are a different level.
Lovely team basketball from the Americans. This is where they can cause problems.
And the whistle on the play. And Suggs will go to the free throw line. 5-2 start for the United States. And the shooting up, wants to talk it over. And they take the timeout. They just need to organize something a little bit more structured to beat this press as the shooting goes into the timeout. So Russia take the timeout, and they really need it. Organize how to beat the press.
I think, you know, the Russians will take the turnovers against the press and say, okay, we need to get better at that. I think their massive frustration is the physicality of the Americans in the half court. You know, the referees let this very early on be a very physical game, and that doesn't suit the Russians at all. They don't want to be able to, you know, when they're getting a little head start off the dribble, they want the fouls to be called on the Americans, so they have to ease off the pressure. And I think we'll see Pashut really try and ride these referees early, if not pick up an early technical, complaining to make sure he gets the Americans off him in the half court.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Lloyd. I think it's one of the, I think it's the only way he probably deals with the pressure is by getting the referees to deal with it. And to me, in the first instance of the game, I didn't see anything that was illegal in any way, shape or form. But physical, yes, but totally legal. It's just very athletic and very well drilled in terms of the defensive effort. But it's up to the Russians to be strong with the basketball. You've got to play through that contact. Drops the second free throw, makes it a 7-2 advantage for the United States early in the third quarterfinal. And going long on the pass is one way to beat it. And they get it into the half court. And don't take too long doing it. Change of direction. And the body foul. He held on to it long enough to draw enough contact. But Perry picks up the personal.
So I thought they'd got the harsh end of a couple of calls. Oh no, you can see that's a good call.
Yeah.
I thought first time, I thought that's unlucky. You know, Perry's gone straight up, but he didn't. It was right. He jumped forwards, so he did create the contact with his body.
Russia, though, if they're going to stay in this, have to take every advantage they have. They have to shoot well from the free throw line if they are going to get the calls. And they go 0 for 2 from the line. And that's not the start that the Russians needed.
So creative. Oh, missed that one badly.
Perry just carries on working though. Only 5 on the possession. They're going to have to take the 3. It's no good. And there's no body boxing anybody out. Tremendous effort on the glass as Cunningham came up with the offensive rebound. And they're not going to handle that turnover.
Applause from the Russian crowd. I think they'll be happy. This kind of tempo, this sort of game. Only 7 points for America, even with those turnovers.
And no one's cutting hard to the ball for the Russians. It's tough enough. And they get the 2 and they blow the layup, and that's what it makes you do. It's not just about the steals you give up, it's about the shots you miss because you don't have the composure to finish. Tough drive to the ring is no good. Perry's just beasting it on the inside. He's just taking it apart.
we said, with the power of this Russian team isn't in the front court, so they've got to live with the front court of the Americans, and the back court has to play well against this pressure.
Another turnover. Just set that one up. And they share it in transition, in and out. Thought about the three, now he puts it on the floor, going right, just dumps it down. The two was there, and the dribble just took away any angle for the score. And the Americans turn it over as Barnes just can't finish the play. Off the glass for two is a tough finish. And Mihalowski just looked at where he wanted to put the ball, floated it soft off the window for two. Likely moves it on, gets it back. Perry down the middle. Tough move. Reginald Perry just at the minute is pretty much unstoppable. Foul on the play.
Some way to keep the scoreboard just ticking over enough. You know, right now just 4 points for them in 5.5 minutes, and two of them off that really tough drive last possession. How are they going to get easy shots? This might be an opportunity.
The three is rimming in and out, defensive rebound, chance to run, and the USA have numbers down the floor. And they don't reward the big man running on that occasion. Went back to the right hand on the drive, is no good. Chance to run the other way. There aren't numbers. You think you're going to have to pull this one out. High pick and roll. They've got to move away from the basketball. Fedoshev is long. Defensive rebound is pulled in by Green, and he looks to just push. Nice pass. Easy. Oh, they're blowed easy too. Stay with the play and get it. It's a real lesson. Williams ran the floor so well, missed the first one, but stayed with it. Penetration far side of the ring, and again, that's a great finish in traffic.
Mihalowski was the key man coming in. We talked about him, and he's the only one who's been able to break his man down and finish.
And they just have it taken off. Lightly goes up. We'll have to earn them from the free throw line. And it's a challenge here. The challenge is, you've got to be stronger with a basketball. You cannot have that situation where it's just taken off you.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you have to do against the Americans, you have to find a way to, when you miss, to stop guards, wings, getting rebounds from Americans, starting the transition opportunities, getting out in that open floor so early. And then you have to find a way again, you know, rebounding, second chance, these sort of points around the ring. And it's not all the bigs. You look at the rebounding battle and you say, oh, you know, they need to be better on the glass, but it's the players outside of those regular positions as well. Because if they get to the line, the other thing the Americans do, you see them changing people now, they can set the press really, really easy from free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the point that we were trying to talk about a little bit before the game in terms of controlling the tempo. You've got to take that part of the game out of the equation, because you won't win that equation, will you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to go straight back to the United States. There's another lesson for anyone watching the game. Young player, don't let the ball go out of bounds. You can take responsibility for it. End line possession. Ball will be inbounded by Suggs. Jalen Suggs. Suggs off the handoff. We'll back it out, have a look at his options. Pulls up at the foul line. There's a whistle on the play. And that's the other frustration. If you try and play physically and you're outfit, you've just got to be fundamentally sound to box out. If you just try and go physical, you're just not going to win. Great effort on the glass. Again by Williams. He just was relentless in his effort. And it goes over. And Russia will advance the basketball. Kombolov has it outside, puts it on the floor, and quick first step. They switched.
It's going to be a goaltend.
I think the whistle are going to call it on the floor. It would have been a goaltend, but the whistle went very early. Went there, and he took another dribble. Well, he definitely gathered it in after that. Then again, very similar to the call earlier on today. 15-6, Williams picks up foul number 1. And Russia just need to try and take some pace out of this game. Nice front cut, foul on the play. Great execution from the weak side to the strong side on the cut. Once you get beat on that cut, one of those cardinal sin type moments, don't get beat on the front cut, because there you are, you're going to have to foul. Well, not have to, but you're going to likely to. Barnes picks up 2 fouls now.
Fouls don't really matter to the Americans, though, do they? They've got such depth.
Pednev.
One guy goes out, another one comes in, like for like. But I think the Russians have got the tempo pretty well here, but the challenge is, you can't 6 points at this moment in time. They've got to be in double digits. If they've got 10 or 11 right now, you're just sitting there saying, oh, that's a good performance so far. It's a slow game. Less than 3 minutes to go. The Americans have only got 15, even though you haven't done the greatest against the pressure and you have committed these turnovers. So, but again, it's only Karlovsky really that's the guy that's been creating offensively.
So Russia try and push up the floor themselves. And the Americans want to run through that, but they almost turn it over, just recover it. Likely has it outside the 3-point line, will reverse the basketball. Suggs goes down low with a pass and a mishandle. It's one of those making the move before you've got the ball moments.
That's exactly what it was, isn't it? He just knew how open he was. So Williams, coming off his freshman year at Purdue University. Gets the turnover.
And they've just got to create a little bit more space here at the moment. Open the floor out as Vedishev advances the basketball. Vedishev puts it on the floor, kicks it, open from the 3-point line, extra line. Spout pass is long. And the ball bounce actually beats the Russian offense. Off the glass for 2, everybody's on the glass, great follow. And it's just relentless pressure on the glass. Nice pass down low. Williams goes up, he's blocked, but he'll go to the free throw line. Rewarded for the physical effort.
Nice, relentless again, Mark, isn't it? One after another after another. The wave of attack, and then as soon as Williams goes out, somebody else comes in. He's going to bring that same mentality as well. So Sorokin picks up his first foul. They have to find a way to clean up second chance points. For them, Williams is struggling from the line. He's 1 for 3 now, Williams. It's just 51% for Purdue this year.
Makes the second though. 9-point advantage. 1:58 to go. And Russia, as you said, Lloyd, tempo-wise, getting into the half court when they want to, but they just don't look very composed and they don't look very confident. Ball stolen, and they are going to call that a foul, and that will send the USA to the free throw line.
If you want to try and keep it a low-scoring game, getting in foul trouble and sending them to the line is not the way. I know Williams missed those 2, but I don't think Jalen Suggs is the same. A top 10 player in the class of 2020 in American terms. He's got 1 more year of high school. Our schooling has literally got the opportunity to pick whichever college he wants to go to. A number of US NCAA coaches in attendance here. Perhaps trying to see him.
Second of two. And multiple misses from the line for the US is, literally keeping Russia within touching distance here. And they can't play at this pace. Even if they beat the pressure, they've got to beat it in their own way. And Coach Bashudin goes to look for different combinations from the bench. To 7 with 1:30 to go in quarter one. Wide open for three is off. Rebound and inside out. The next three is off and long. Another great rebound going up for two. Blows that. And Williams will draw the contact to go back to the free throw line. You can't jump. You've got to box. If they're not going to try and box here, they're just not going to win any jumping competitions. The physicality and the actual offensive rebounding quality is just too much.
There's just no contest in that.
Kovsky picks up his first foul, and Williams' woes from the free throw line continue. The USA could have been closer to 30 than 20 if they'd have made some free throws, but Williams again. Wide open. It's all they're getting wide open threes on the end of the break. This one is knocked down. Bedashev, the guys from the Lokomotiv Kuban club in the recent years, one of the biggest names in Russian basketball. Likely outside, backs it out, wants a little space to play. Takes it down the middle, goes up in the lane. Williams is on the glass for two.
Challenges if you rotate to help on the drive. You leave it open, those rebounders. Try and contain one-on-one as hard as that is.
It's a tough shot. I mean, it took a long time getting a tough shot. Last 20 seconds of the quarter. United States on the break again. They miss another close-in finish. And the Russians have 10 seconds to cut this to a 7 or a 6-point game. And the three is off. That'll do it for quarter one. It's been a bit frantic. It's been a bit up and down the floor. The United States lead it 19-10. It could have been a lot bigger.
World, I've been watching you.
Goodness gracious.
Brazil, Beleza. Spain, you got one. Is that enough? That's what I thought.
Make up. Oh!
Okay, Australia. I can feel your passion all the way from here. Yo, France, I know you want it. You just love giving everybody a hard time now, don't you? Ni hao, China. You show me love. Now show me some game.
Continues to get the fans.
And all of you, the FIBA Basketball World Cup is right here. You want it? Come and get it. USA, don't this up.
Well, back inside the Heraklion arena at the end of quarter one. Some highlights of that first quarter and the story of American pressure generating turnovers. But missed opportunities from the free throw line have left us with a 9-point game. And it's one of those scenarios where if you miss your opportunities, sometimes that does come back to really haunt you. So Russia with the possession at the start of quarter 2. We'll get it into the half court. Shev puts it on the floor, gets to the ring for 2. Nice finish.
That's the confidence they need.
Albert back in at the point for the United States. Cunningham doesn't get the drop, but again, work on the glass. And throw that one down, says Perry, who really has impressed in the first 2 quarters of this one.
Yes, he has. He's a man amongst boys on the inside.
Oh, totally.
Now he's going to step out on the switch. Be careful. Doesn't pick up the foul. Smart travel.
Well, travel called.
Is still on the bench. I know he got into it a little with the American players, but he's such a key for this Russian offense.
Oh, the tough drive with the right hand comes up empty, but again, good drive by Perry, just didn't finish the play. Ball comes off Dushev as he tries to get to the bucket. Tucks it under the arm, penetrates, you see it coming off his thigh.
Too easy on the defensive end for someone like Robinson, isn't it?
Yeah. Perry gets it on the inside, but takes him off the block. He'll step out to ball screen. And they turn it over on the pick and roll. And they wrap it round. They don't like the option. They give it to the corner for 3, which is short. Great work on the glass. And they're rewarded. If you work hard, you get rewarded.
Decent Russian crowd here. They love the effort. They really do. But, you know, this 2-point percentage isn't their problem. It's from beyond the 3-point line when they're stepping out. That's where they're going to make some threes.
Halliburton just dropped it from deep.
Well, he shows them right on cue, doesn't he, how to do it.
He was as close to coach for shooting as he was anybody else. Penetration, blocks. And that's when he needs someone to give him an option. There's been like, and Haleskovsky just broke the defense down and no one moved. He had to go up because no one gave him a passing lane. No one could see the ball on the penetration. And the result is a block. And the first penetration should have created opportunity. Vedishev is outside. Settles for the 3, is short.
From Russia. Stood there, the Americans in position, waiting, ready for them. And just settled for a long 3, no rhythm to it.
Cunningham goes up and he's got a whistle on the play. Will go to the free throw line.
Really impressed. Cunningham played for Montverde Academy, made the national high school final. And I thought he was superb in the final 8 competition that they held. Haven't really seen that from him so far today. Decent-ish numbers so far in this tournament, 12.5 points. But shooting just 14% from 3-point range. And I'd expect the quality he's shown US to kind of come through as this tournament progresses to the later stages.
Well, he stops the poor performance from the free throw line, makes 2. Russia beat the press through the air with the pass.
Shot has come back in now for Russia. It should be a turning point, a good momentum for them.
And again, the mishandle in 2 points was as quick as the defense was to recover. 2 points wide open and just did not collect it. And going the other way, Jeremiah Robinson is rewarded. He gets the 2.
Soccer and just looks nervous out there, doesn't catch it, still worrying about that. He's slow to get back. The Americans have scored before. He's barely got over the halfway line.
Halliburton for three. That's back-to-back threes. The Iowa State guard looks every inch what he is, a quality guard. He goes back-to-back threes and with 6:51 to go in the half. The USA opening this one up 31-14. Penetration drew all the defense. Halliburton lined it up. It gets nothing but strength.
World, I'm Dirk, and this is my man, Son of Dreams.
His eye on shot drops.
And that's what it takes to compete in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Do you have it? Hey, Greece, it's time for the freak. Hey, Argentina, where's that young gun? Serbia, still outsmarting your opponents? Japan, you got some tricks up your sleeves, huh? Lions, you took on Africa, but are you ready for the world? This competition is not a place to sit back and watch. It's time to prove the world's got game. Hit it, son. Stell dir mal vor, Deutschland macht's.
So that's it, you know, for Russia. They did control the tempo, but more importantly, they stopped America from scoring, and they've got to find a way to do that again.
Threes away coming out of the timeout. Offensive rebound is Shinknov. Todd as he comes down with it. There's another opportunity. 6 seconds on the clock, trying to work their way in. I did not see that as the option. As you can see from the shot, all 5 white shirts were way below the line of the free throw line, and there was options to kick for the open look, and it was never even considered. Russia will control the ball on the baseline, and substitutions coming in for the United States. So Suggs picks up the personal. Ershov on the penetration, just really share it. Just stolen away, 3-on-2 break. At the back of the hand for 2, pretty play.
The versatility of all of these players from the Americans. That's Trayvon Williams getting the steal, starting the break, playing at point guard, you know, the 6'9" forward.
Foul line jump shot is way off. Another defensive rebound, and the rebound margin just continues to grow. Cunningham pushes in the lane, shares it, easy 2. And the point you made, they do not want to take tough ones. They'll share it in the belief that when it's their turn, they'll get it back. And Ershov limps out of the game. That may have something to do why they didn't bring him back so quickly, Lloyd. And yeah, he's in a lot of trouble on the far side.
Yeah, he's a loss for them if he can't return, because he is the leading scorer, just shy of 20 points per game. He's shooting 67% for 2, 42% for 3 over this tournament. Especially a game like this where they need all the points they can.
Baseline penetration off the glass for 2 is good.
That's a nice move.
Shinkov picks up the 2. It's just not enough of picking up the 2 at the minute. The 3 is long by Cunningham. Nice fight for it, I think. And Barnes gets the 2 on the inside off the nice feed by Williams.
Again, we say the same thing to it. Nice feed, nice passing. Good unselfish play by the Americans.
Turn down the post entry. Shev in the lane. Another tough one. And every shot is a tough one. They're not moving and creating for each other. Everything is off the dribble. Everything is a contested shot. Hence the problem, hence the 37-16 margin with 4:50 to go. short on the second. Defensive rebound is likely, gives it up, and again, showtime. Down low, great little move by Robinson as he just drove across the lane and laid it in. Shev, side turnover, and 4 on the break again. 4 on 5 on 3 break. Find the open man. That's open enough for 2.
So quick in that way. All 5 guys down the floor. So you stop one and the next one's there, just available.
And the Russians trying to stay with it, but it's almost like 1 for 3 or 4 every time. Burton outside, thinks about it, steps back, and moves it on. Barnes goes inside. Turnaround jump shot is long. Offensive rebound is hauled in by Green. He doesn't get it to drop, and the Russians dodge the bullet. 4 on 3 Blake for Russia. They have numbers down the floor. They go inside. Malashevsky. Green just again almost just steals it. Malashevsky off his knees puts up a shot. And watch out. Green with a throwdown. And this team have fun, don't they? And they have fun together. It's a great thing. You made the point already, but they have fun sharing it.
Yeah. Put together team here, no egos whatsoever. Here they go again. This is where they're so dangerous. Look, the rebound and run. If you miss long rebounds, they have so many guys that can just get it and start the break.
And Scott Barnes gets the 2 on that occasion in the blink of an eye. After a really slow first quarter, it was just 19 to 10 at the end of 1. It's now 45 to 19. They've just exploded in this second quarter. Another turnover. And again, the thought is to get it and pass. Nice drop-in pass by Halliburton, easy 2.
And the thing is, the Russians can't do anything about it. They've called both their timeouts. They don't really have the subs to come in and help them, and the Americans just going to bring in more fresh legs on any dead ball.
Penetration and the kick. Look off, the reverse layup is good.
He's been good. I mean, he showed his quality.
Yeah. And the ball's out of bounds, and there's a little respite with 2:06 to go in 2. Turning the corner off the high screen and moves it. Penetration down the middle is good for 2. And that's a little better, trying to create the drive lane as Barashev picks up 2. Barnes moves it on. And the Perry jump shot is way short. Never with a pass, the floater is no good. Barnes gets the rebound, thinks pass, but this time there's nothing open. Turnover, 2-on-1 break here. And there's the 2. Petnev, after the steal, converts it. Back to a 22-point game. Likely will enter high. Barnes in the post. Quick release on that finish. Has to be the way he squared up. Has to be a quick release the way he makes that pivot. Barnes goes to 10 personal. And he's got 10 in a hurry.
Too easy, wasn't it? One dribble, turns, takes the contact, finishes. Wonderful move. Karlovich again. Mikhailovsky.
Yeah, Mikhailovsky. Mikhailovsky is one of the few Russians it looks like can make that first step quick enough before the defense can recover and swarm to the middle. There's likely Perry, puts it on the floor, just barrels his way to the hoop. Picks up the 2, we've got a 51 to 27. First half scoreline, and we're in the last 15 seconds. go foul. And Vedeshev is one of the other Russians to come out of this first half with some credit. Will find himself on the free throw line. Here's the replay of the move down the middle. Steps through to create an angle and kisses the glass. 11.2 seconds to go in the half. The USA lead this 51-27.
It's just everything we expected, really, from the Americans. Russia have had just no response and no opportunity to be able to do anything about this relentless performance from the Americans. In every other game, we've kind of had that point where the other team have got their advantage or they've shown a glimmer of hope, but right now, you just look at it and you say, well, the game's got to change so massively in this second half. The second quarter been absolutely incredible from the Americans. 32 points they have.
Cunningham short with a three. That'll do it for the first half. The Russians will escape to the locker room to get away from that intensity and relentless nature of the pressure from the United States of America, who lead this one at the half, the third quarterfinal of the FIBA U19 Basketball World Cup. They lead it 51-27 after a dominant second quarter that's just blown this game open. In every aspect, they shot the ball well, their defense was intense, they were in the passing lane, they came up with steals. But I think the thing Lloyd, both of us have said, they shared the ball superbly. And life is easy when you share in this game. 50% from the two, only 22 from the three-point line, but they haven't had to actually look to take many. But Russia's struggling everywhere. And the turnover numbers and the rebound numbers are not going to be pretty looking. The United States will not be happy with 56% from the free throw line, because in a semi-final or a final, that could be a factor. So rebound-wise, it's 33-15, 16 assists to 4. It's all one-way traffic for the United States. 14 turnovers for Russia, and 9 steals for the United States of America. So we're going to leave you with some highlights of what was an impressive first half display. We'll be back for the second half shortly. We'll see you then.
World, I've been watching you. Brazil, Belize, Spain, you got one. Is that enough? That's what I thought. Oh! Okay, Australia. I can feel your passion all the way from here. Yo, France, I know you want it. You just love giving everybody a hard time now, don't you? Ni hao, China. You show me love. Now show me some game.
Continues to get the fans.
And all of you, FIBA Basketball World Cup is right here. You want it? Come and get it. USA, don't this up.
World, I'm Dirk, and this is my man, Son of Dreams.
His irons and shot drops.
And that's what it takes to compete in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Do you have it? Hey, Greece, it's time for the freak. Hey, Argentina, where's that young gun? Serbia, still outsmarting your opponents? Japan, you get some tricks up your sleeves, huh? Lions, you took on Africa, but are you ready for the world? This competition is not a place to sit back and watch. It's time to prove the world's got game. Hit it, son. Stell dir mal vor, Deutschland macht's.
It's like that.
World, I've been watching you. Brazil, Beleza. Spain, you got one. Is that enough? That's what I thought. Oh! Okay, Australia. I can feel your passion all the way from here. Yo, France, I know you want it. You just love giving everybody a hard time now, don't you? Ni hao, China. You show me love. Now show me some game.
Continues to get the fans.
And all of you, FIBA Basketball World Cup is right here. You want it? Come and get it. USA, don't this up.
World, I'm Dirk, and this is my man, Son of Dreams.
His irons and shot drops.
And that's what it takes to compete in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Do you have it? Hey, Greece, it's time for the freak. Hey, Argentina, where's that young gun? Serbia, still outsmarting your opponents? Japan, you get some tricks up your sleeves, huh? Lions, you took on Africa, but are you ready for the world? This competition is not a place to sit back and watch. It's time to prove the world's got game. Hit it, son. Stell dir mal vor, Deutschland macht's.
It's like that.
It's like, for me, I didn't see them come out and decide on what the options they had. Did they come out and say, right, we are going to retain, we are going to get into the bottom of the shot clock every time unless we've got a wide up? No, they just played it, and if you're just going to play, you don't have a chance because you're just going player for player, and the United States is so much stronger. But it's not taking anything away from the quality of what the United States is doing, because when they run the break, it's just not, they're not running the break. They run lanes really well, they get people in trowel spots, they reverse the ball, they share it, and they're getting really high percentage shots. If they'd have made free throws in that first half, they would have been looking at a plus 60-point half. And Russia last season were one of the better teams at the European Championships under 18, which is how you qualify for this competition. And they have literally just been, well, this is not put too fine a point, they have just been destroyed in that first quarter in every aspect of the game.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with you, Mark. You have to give credit to the Americans. You have to say, this is a great offensive and great performance from the American team, but you also have to say Russia have to be better than where they were in their first
absolutely.
half.
I don't think you could say that the Russian team has come out and tried to play a particular way. They're not trying. That's not what we're saying. They haven't come out and said, we have a 1 in a whatever it is chance of getting into this game. That's how we're going to play. They haven't been allowed to. That's the other part of that equation. Well, welcome back to Heraklion here in Crete, and the USA have the ball in the first possession of the third quarter. Tyrese Halliburton gets them into the half court. Slip, no ball screen. Second screen comes, still no screen. It's more a pick and pop scenario. The mid-range 2 is long, and Russia get a stop first time down. Skotsky gets a defensive rebound, and Russia are into the half court. This is where I'd expect them to share it, try to look to reverse it. Get some screen action away from the basketball. The three is gone, but not in really any rhythm. Work on the glass is excellent, and they'll have to earn them from the free throw line, though.
That kind of possession summed up Russia as well. Like you say, it's not through a lack of effort, but you know they've gone 4 passes, they've reversed the ball back and forth, but they've never actually broken the three-point line.
Exactly.
So you know the defense isn't turning for America. They can put more pressure on the ball. What they did a good job of that time was getting that offensive rebound, something that's very hard to do. So credit to Golden. He did a good job, creating an opportunity to get himself to the line.
So Vladislav Golden on the free throw line makes the first. As we get a look at Coach Weber. He must be a very satisfied coach with level of performance. The score's almost never an irrelevance, but now he's talking about how he's going to perform.
Yeah, and I think the Americans have got more to give as well. We talked about that they could play better. They didn't shoot it particularly well, but more than anything, they've played hard and they've shared the ball so well.
Suggs gets to the ring. Soft touch off the glass. Well, that's the way to get solid, but you've got to finish the play. And a second attempt, which Kudevsky gets the 2 to drop. A missed layup down the other way, as Suggs couldn't complete. Russia have a chance of back-to-back scores.
Expecting the offensive rebound to be the way for Russia to get back into the game. It has been in the third. Now we're going to hit the 3 as well.
Oh, nice start for Russia coming out of the halftime locker room. There's always a point where just personal pride kicks in when you're down that many in the first half.
Just 1 of 12 from beyond the three-point line before that one. So a huge make from beyond the three-point line for him.
Perry with a pass down low, ball kicked away. There'll be a 14-second reset. Kudevsky with the shot. He's been everywhere in the start of this quarter. Rebounds well, rounds well. It's an offensive rebound alive as Halliburton lines up the 3, but it's long. That's a rebound by Perry. Goes up, straight back up. Literally 2 people hanging on his arm. Still gets the ball up there. And looks a very impressive performer for this national team.
And that's the thing. Perry's the only man that's really jumped for the rebound. So while it is a tough matchup, and Golden's got to compete with him on the glass. So he's not held him back. He's not stopped him from jumping. He's not jumping with him to challenge him. He's done nothing. But there's no way Perry's not going to get rebounds if he's the only man going for it.
True. Absolutely true. Point. Americans up the floor, looking to trap. And the Russians quite rightly look to pass. They do not want to be around the sidelines and the halfway line. So Russia beat that press on that occasion relatively straightforward. First step is good. And you have to say that Sheremetyev should have shot the ball, and everybody in the gym thought he was going to shoot the ball, especially Golden, who's getting position for the rebound.
You've got to be confident against this American team. They went to the mismatch, and like you said, Sheremetyev did a good job breaking his man down, and he should have shot it. Decided not to.
Oh, Perry's just stepped down and stroked the 3. Very impressive. The long 3 to answer for Russia is good. Sheremetyev from downtown knocks down the 3.
Very confidence that time, stepping up, making the play. Good response for his turnover.
Halliburton, a little hesitation, gets himself inside and kicks. The 3 is away and short. And Russia secured a defensive rebound and push. Trying to get some momentum as Kudevsky moves the basketball, foul on the play, to the free throw line. There's Fedoshev again, who has it knocked away illegally.
Much improved second half performance from Russia this. And we said at the half, where's their advantage? How are they going to score? Well, scoring hasn't really been a problem for them here.
Well, they cut it to a 20-point margin, make that 19. Stokes again kicks it off. And the ball's knocked away.
Defensive possession.
Yeah.
How do you give up that much space after a free throw if you're Russia? Suggs just got it, came down the floor at full speed. Missed opportunity from America more than anything.
Absolutely. As Sherbanev gets Russia into the half court. Stops, fakes, and lets the two-pointer go. And Russia come up with the offensive rebound. Goes inside here. And they share it, Golden goes up and throws it down and enjoyed himself on that one. And where was this in the first half? So much more just commitment to what they're trying to achieve. Halliburton, defense steps up and so much better than it was in the first half. Halliburton, they've got the mismatch, they recognize it, the holding foul. It's always going to be the good recognition. So Golden goes behind the backboard, then comes back up. Great execution.
Excellent pass as well. It's that man, Karlovsky as well.
Halliburton will inbound. And Perry just relieves the pressure. Halliburton in the middle opens, goes upstairs. And that's quick. It's a little quick jam. Spike dunk. You've got to say, Perry is an impressive member of this US team. Impressing as much as anybody. A little hesitation down the middle, needs a pass. The three is away. And it bounces in and out. Chance for the United States to run again, but Russia does a better job in defensive transition. Halliburton has a look at his options early. Now he likes his chance to penetrate, gets the two.
I'm sure Golden can guard the pick and roll at the level that he's going to have to. First time he was slow to get back, gave up the lob. Next time he switches, gets beat to the ring.
And they just dribble straight into the defense. And they try to go back-to-back threes for Perry. 2-on-0. They blow the layup. Well, is that looking over your shoulder, waiting for someone to block you? Here's Cunningham going to the basket the other way, foul on the play. And
Russia go from getting a layup here to giving up two shots right at the other end. They have to recognize the moment they score that transition, not in transition from one end to the other, the transition from offense to defense. So the ability just to turn around and know you're supposed to be guarding somebody immediately. If that man has gone, then getting back. They haven't done that. We've seen it a couple of times. Americans on scores or rebounds just walk the ball down the floor.
the free throw woe continues for the United States, and by their own standards, it's way under where they would expect to be. The United States shooting, well, just scraping 60% from the free throw line. Russia's down at 50% themselves. Again, full court press. And now they have well, they could have had a 3-on-2. They go long. Great work to stay with the play.
Turn to stop the ball now, Russia.
They don't actually pick it up, as you say, to the three-point line. No one picks up the first pass. Supple on the inside, turnover again. The shot was well short. The Russians get another piece of it on the offensive glass, and they can't complete. Halliburton needs the break, gets it off to Likely. Still on the play as Williams tried to go to work in the block.
A sign of how much better Russia have been is forced the Americans into a timeout. First frustration we've seen from Bruce Weber in this game.
World, I'm Dirk, and this is my man, Son of Dreams.
His eye on some shot drops.
And that's what it takes to compete in the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Do you have it? Hey, Greece. It's time for the freak. Hey, Argentina, where's that young gun? Serbia, still outsmarting your opponents? Japan, you get some tricks up your sleeves, huh? Lions, you took on Africa, but are you ready for the world? This competition is not a place to sit back and watch. It's time to prove the world's got game. Hit it, son. Stell dir mal vor, Deutschland macht's.
It's like that.
Bounce, and haven't shot the three particularly well either.
No.
Another way to tie the game, you know, even up the game.
Russia beat the press, get it over the halfway line, and there's a whistle, and they've called it offensive. And any offensive foul in that situation in this game is going to be a little frustrating. Petnev picks up foul number 2, and Halliburton will bring the USA into the half court. Likely gets in the lane, somehow gets someone to kick it off to. And the Russians come down with it. Numbers down the floor here, 4 on 2. Big second step. And that's just a defensive play by Barnes. Just would not get beat and stayed with it. Then used his length and his quickness to get a piece of it. End line possession for Russia. And that's sweet. Nice stroke, gets the 3. It's back to 15.
Yeah, well, Vedyshev has come out of nowhere really to be an X factor in this game. And all of a sudden he's come alive, 2 for 5, 10 points from him.
Just on the play on the travel.
Russians up, the bench is into it.
Well,
A couple of threes will do for you, isn't it?
absolutely. A score on this possession could take it to a 13 or a 12-point game as the Americans go to the bench and bring back Perry, who has been the most impressive man on the inside. And Jamal Robinson checks in with him.
Yeah, I would say, you know, the guard battle has been relatively even. I don't think any of the American guards have been outstanding, but Perry has 20 points personal. He's just been a difference.
Penetration, needs a pass, finds one. The open 3 is good. And all of a sudden, a team that couldn't buy a basket in the first half, and Vedyshev gets another 3, and we've got a 12-point game. Let's forget about respectability. Russia dragging themselves into contention. And there's a holding foul.
At the half, we asked where the points come from. What's the advantage? And Vedyshev has been the man to show what it is by knocking down the 3 ball. He's swiftly become a double-figure scorer. Now he's the lead with 13. You know, him and Makarkovsky, if they can get going together, you know, maybe you've got a chance here.
You've got a chance to at least get this into a game where we're going to find out more about the American team.
Absolutely.
He's on the free throw line, and he missed yet another free throw.
Is it likely? This is the knock on his game after freshman year. Oklahoma State, good numbers, but you know, his ability to shoot the basketball. He hasn't made a 3 in this tournament as a guard. You know, from the line, that form doesn't look smooth quite yet. So this is the first, makes the second.
So Russia, every possession a big possession in these last 3 minutes of quarter 3. Penetration down the middle, little floater off the glass. And they get off the floor to recover that, and they get a new 14. Lining up the 3, gets the contact, heads up. Just saw the recovery off balance, put himself in a position where he would have got hit, and did. And finds himself on the free throw line again.
Well, this play from Konovalov just sums up the difference for me for Russia. He's come off the ball screen, attacked the bigs from the Americans, shown no fear in getting to the ring and getting a good shot attempt. He didn't finish it, but then he played it, you know, made a smart, heady play to draw the contact and get himself to the line. during that period where they've struggled, you know, they didn't have that conviction. The Russians, it was a lot more second guessing. There was a lot of guys, you know, not looking to step up and make plays, but happy to try and give the ball to somebody else.
Now it's the Americans struggling to get it in. I don't think they'll have the same problems beating the press or pressure as Cunningham brings it. But it's now they're in a position where they're going to try and run things. They're having to think about the game. You're going to find out a lot more about.
Shot clock's already down to 7.
Spin to the middle, little fumble, another turnover for the United States. Chance to make this a single-digit game.
Yeah, and don't forget, a lot of these, well, all of these Americans are unused to playing with the 24-second shot clock. Those of them that are in college play with the 35, you know, some of them still in high school in different states may not even have a shot clock. So it is a different, if you can get them, you know, a bit of pressure up the floor, plays like that where it gets down to 8 seconds, they're not expecting it.
Konolov, far side of the ring, off the glass for 2. We've got a 10-point game. And as you'd expect, the Russian crowd getting into it, there's a few of them. And the neutrals in the crowd looking for an upset. Move to the hoop, defensive rebound. They just rip it. There's a travel, there's a play, it's coming down to Russia. Looked like that Perry in that instance and Cunningham were almost taking it off each other.
This is just incredible. I just could not see a 27-13 third quarter coming for Russia.
64-54, Russia have the basketball, 1:43 to go. Quite an incredible third quarter for Russia. Whatever else happens in the game, it's been an incredible third quarter. Now they've just got to space the floor.
Look in this switch, this pick and roll defense.
Konolov was way short, they're going to try and save it. And the ball will go back to Russia.
They've done all of this with Mikhailovsky on the bench as well.
Yep.
And here he comes now, I think, coming back into the game. And he'll be really effective against that switch with the momentum they've got now as well. There he is, Mikhailovsky.
So into the half court. Cunningham gets to the far side of the ring in the lane, and Perry will have to go to the line to earn him. Couldn't complete the play.
Well, I said I'm a huge Cade Cunningham fan. And down this important stretch, they've looked to give him the ball a lot. You know, have him be the decision maker, have him make plays off the dribble. And, you know, you've got to say right now, he's 0 for 6 for the field. He's got 3 assists, but he hasn't been at that level that you'd expect a player of his caliber, his reputation coming in would be. And if he can make plays like that, where he did hit the really nice pass to Perry at the right time, if he can start to find his range, the Americans will get some comfort once more.
Well, Perry on the free throw line. Goes 2 for 2, and he needed to. So the United States reassert, get the 12-point advantage. Konolov gets inside, needs a pass, drops it off. Little front cut. Ball's bouncing around. Someone needs to grab hold of this. They take the long 3. It's good. Oh my word.
Fedoshev has come out of nowhere. What a third quarter for him.
Fedoshev and Konolov in the backcourt. That's not on the script for this game at all. Cunningham is switch and defend the cut. But in the lane has to create one, blocked. And Russia have a chance here to cut it to a 7-point game. And they turn it over. 7 or 6-point game within their grasp. And they turn it over tamely.
What a shame as we see the 3 from Fedoshev. And then the great defense on the weak side. Shnikov, we haven't seen a lot of, coming up with a big play.
Halliburton tries to re-establish a little bit of control here, but trying to hold for the last shot, down to 10 on the quarter clock. Moves it on, Cunningham. Puts it on the floor, gets in the lane, dumps it off, easy 2. Great decision, great penetration. And And at the end of the third quarter, a third quarter where we were probably expecting the United States to run up and down here and just extend the lead, it's back to an 11-point game, 68-57 after 3.
Against 30-17 quarter.
Those numbers still highlight the free throw issues for both teams. Well, what a third quarter, in particular for Kononov and Vedashev, who really did drag their team back into contention in this. At one point down to a 9-point game with the basketball. The turnover really hurt them at the end. I think more than anything else, they've proved to themselves as a group that they can play and compete. If they can keep that mentality going in the fourth, well, who knows what will happen. It's still an enormously tough task against a team this talented. But Russia will start with the ball in the fourth. Vedashev puts it on the floor, breaks the defense down a little bit, gets a lot of help, moves the ball on. They're trying to space the floor now. Going baseline, just about hangs on. Is blocked. Got to put it up in traffic. Blocked again, chance to run. Almost stolen, Cunningham has it. Easy flush for 2. And stolen again. And we're back to the first and second, well, we're back to the second quarter.
The Americans are fired up. They're frustrated with that third period. I think they're trying to respond immediately. They want a game down the stretch. Suggs in transition, then they get the steal. Chip to the line already.
Substitution for Russia. Kononov checks back in. 13-point margin with the free throws to come. Jaden Suggs on the line. Well, they're still hovering around that 60-point mark. If either of these teams would have shot the free throw at a reasonable number, it could have had a huge effect on the score or the margin. The second is good. Just got to pass it through that. They go long. Now they've got a 2-on-1 break. Great recovery. You can go up the floor that hard if you've got that sort of athleticism recovering. The ball doesn't touch the floor, and they get the little alley-oop.
Since I said Cunningham hasn't perhaps been at his best, he really has. Hasn't he stepped up, scoring now after being the provider.
Well, they wrap it out, and he's knocked down for 3, and Vedashev gets another one.
It's 5th of the game, all in the second half. Well, all in 11 minutes now.
And covers it back to a 13 advantage. Cunningham, beautiful pass. Well, in some ways, Perry's been the most impressive player on the United States team, but Cunningham just gave him 2 on a plate there.
I think it's in some ways, I think it's in every way. Perry's been the most impressive performer.
That's a reaching foul by Suggs. You can't leave your arms in there against the dribble in that way. As soon as he goes, that's a foul. Substitution on the Russian bench. Sideline possession for Russia. And Vedeshev, why not give it to him? Sit on the floor, skips it, attack that closeout, go up strong and blocks. Perry just appeared. Nice work, and another block. This time Robinson gets a piece of it, and the United States on the break get two as Halliburton, who looks incredibly smooth at that guard spot. Take a look, there's the block, let's see the transition. Halliburton's going to finish the play. Really understand what the issue is. Suggs should have left the ball alone. Didn't. Knocked away because he shouldn't be having it, and everyone wants to talk about it. Yep. And there's two technicals, one for each team, which will just cancel each other out in terms of free throws. Coach Weber has taken him out, just explained the situation for him. Petnev picked up the technical for the Russians, and Suggs picks up the technical for the United States. There's nothing really in it at all, just that maybe people want to talk about it a little too much. Shev again notices Kovalov breaks it down, needs a pass, turned over, too much dribble in front of the defense, and guess who? Perry's going coast to coast, and we'll go to the free throw line. How good is Reginald Perry?
I'll tell you how good he is. If he makes these two, he'll be in the top 10 highest scorers ever for the USA under-19 team at the World Cup. So he's still got a way to go to chase Daniel Brown in 2003, but you know, this. 28% for three last year, but he did that. His ability to switch ball screens as well, guard the perimeter, and really be a two-way player is very, very impressive. I mean, he's a man, came off first year at Mississippi State in the SEC, 9.5 points a game, just shy of 7.5 rebounds. So in a team which made the NCAA tournament, really, really impressive performer this year. And I think he has a big future ahead of him.
Well, that last play demonstrated all those things, coast to coast after getting the rebound. Now he's going to step to the free throw line after coming back after the timeout. So 77-60, good start to the fourth by the United States, and they needed a good start to the fourth because I think there was a little bit of belief being cultivated on that Russian bench, but Perry in particular and Cunningham have started to remove that belief.
And this free throw here, like I say, will take him to 6th all-time with 28 points. He will tie Paul Davis and James Worthy as two of the four players. So he does that, ties Davis, Worthy and Michael Wright. They've all reached that figure. And there's one more to reach Stephen Marbury. So in some very impressive company there.
Absolutely. As soon as you said he was that high up on that list, there was going to be some impressive company. The penetration and the kick to the three. Pass wasn't great, so they had to go looking for it. Defensive rebound controlled by Robinson.
The problem is trying to chase a game against the Americans is so difficult. You know, you push up the floor, try and get turnovers, and if you don't get them, if you gamble and miss, they're always going to punish you in some way or another. Either the man who gets the ball, or if he can't finish, you know, somebody's going to be open attacking the glass.
Oh, they go upstairs, or they blow it because it wasn't quite where it needed to be in terms of the pass. The option was there. pull up on the break for three, and there's a foul as Cunningham fouls. Vedishev will go to the free throw line for 3 shots and add to his personal performance.
Which has been an incredible personal performance. 19 points for Zakir Vedishev. He's got better in every game. He had 17 in the group game against Argentina. And surprisingly didn't play in the game against China, the round of 16.
Saving it.
So, yeah. But he has shot it well. He's made at least 2 threes in every game, so no surprise that he's made them here today, but just perhaps it's the way he's made them in such a hurry.
Oh, he goes 1 for 3. Chance on the glass, wife ball fake. There was no one to fake. And the Americans will advance the basketball. Jalen Green flips it, seal that post. Robinson goes up, draws contact, and just held his space really well. Substitutions coming off the Russian bench. .53, just under 7 to go, and it's been a fast start to this fourth quarter by the Americans, re-establishing the control they had at the half. Robinson misses the first, but free throw wise, you know that Coach Weber's going to be, he's going to be seeing the bigger picture right now. That sort of 60% number in the semi-final could be a real issue.
You just never know, do you? And we saw earlier on today teams that struggle from the free throw line really struggle in the game. And go back to Puerto Rico, Mali. Mali had their free throw woes. And all the way through these games today, we've seen that same
ball just ripped away. 5-on-3 break at speed. Well, they missed the dunk. He's going to have to pick himself up off the floor as Jalen Green. And this looks a little bit more like the second quarter, doesn't it? Steals and run. And that's the big thing. You mentioned it on a number of occasions. If the Russians run some offense and score, that stops the break. And that's in that third quarter, that's the biggest issue to have. They score, they're in good shape. As soon as you miss, things aren't looking good for you. Green knocks down the first. It's back out to a 20-point game. From the United States of America on a mission to overcome the rest of the world and regain the world title. Lost against an R.J. Barrett-led Canada last year, 2 years ago in Egypt. Off the glass for 2 is good, and they so needed to tick it over. They have not scored in a long while here. Offensive rebound off the glass. Robinson can't get it, but the whistle goes. And Robinson will walk to the free throw line. Well, the free throw situation was a real issue for the United States in Egypt. In the semi-final game that they lost to Canada. And Canada had foul trouble. They literally got to the point where the Canadians would foul in the absolute belief that the United States would not go 2 for 2. And over the last 5 minutes of the game, they never went 2 for 2. This team struggling from the free throw line. It's one of those things that can really hurt you in games where teams hang around when it's down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty is getting the game to be deep in the fourth quarter.
And not every team has R.J. Barrett.
That's exactly it. You know, R.J. Barrett, Canada did an excellent job. You know, can somebody else, can a Lithuania do that? That's the question.
Well, you'd see Lithuania with a 20-second set, ending with a 3 for a large chunk of the game. And they shoot the 3, high 40s across this tournament. Lithuania had a great game against Serbia. Their issue is containment on the inside, but they'd have the same issue against the United States. three is lined up and is long. Defensive rebound is missed. And that's a great piece of work by Malachowski. And Russia tick it over again. They've stopped the bleeding anyway, and with 5.5 to go, trail by a 19-point margin. They skip it. Green, far side of the ring for two. Got to keep him behind the backboard if you get a full sim baseline. And I think there's a combination here of the United States stepping off a little bit in the pressure and Russia just getting a little bit more confident, but another steal. Tough finish. Transition basketball is what this team wants to play, and when it runs it, it's impressive. Easy two on the end of the break.
Scotty Barnes has got some tools, doesn't he, physically? You see in there, take off, take the hit. Just so high, hanging in the air.
Loose ball foul, get a replay of, well, we don't get a replay of Scott Barnes' impressive finish on the end of the break.
So Barnes out there, he's another man yet to decide where he's going to play at college. There's one more year before he makes that transition to the NCAA.
Attack the closeout, gets to the ring, far side, blows the layup, did everything he needed to do. All the hard stuff. He goes up, gets the two.
He lost it on the way up. He wrapped the ball up nicely. When he tried to bring it out and finish, he lost it himself.
Finish to the glass and one. Mikhailovsky has consistently been one of the key performers for the Russians in this game.
Yeah, well, I said he's the first man to have a triple-double in this competition since Dario Saric in 2003. And even here today, they give them Mikhailovsky 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And it's tough to do, get 5 assists when your team has struggled to score as well.
Again, not in bad company in this competition. We said about Kirilenko being the MVP for Russia when he played in this competition. Dario Saric, just another phenomenal player that's come through this FIBA Under-19 World Championships. Robinson on the three-point line will hand it off. And Halliburton takes a huge three. Russia have a chance to run. They have numbers down the floor. Just pick the right option. The layup will do. Petnev really went up very strong. Drops it down. Watch out. Jamar Robinson down the middle with the flush. As we see the tough finish on the end of the break, followed by the Robinson throwdown. Halliburton tried to dump it off and does, and there's a whistle on the play. And what they call another technical.
Yeah. That'll be 1 shot for the technical, 2 for the foul.
Yeah, 2 for the team fouls anyway. Halliburton on the free throw line.
He shot the tech and then Barnes will shoot
Barnes will shoot the two, yeah. So the United States would love to hit the 3-figure mark again. They lead this 92 to 69 with these 2 to come. Coach for shooting. In the United States, it's another free throw. And he makes the second, he'll sit and he'll be replaced off that bench. So Williams. Only 17, Williams, one of the younger members of the group. Ball goes out of bounds, will stay with Russia. And Williams looks like one of the younger members of the group, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All about potential, all about upsides. Unlucky sits as Coach Weber probably makes some of his last rotations. The long three did everything but drop. But somehow they recovered it. And the and one. And the only, if we're going to be harsh, the only disappointing thing as Dolanin goes up and throws it down is that the Russians could have had this more positive, should we say, attitude to the game earlier and could have stayed a lot closer. Dolanin doesn't hit a thing, I don't think. So, a 22-point game with literally 3 minutes remaining. Kara Lewis puts it over the halfway line. Nice layout, blocked. Impressive ring protection.
Mobley trying to send a statement, wasn't he? There's one.
Oh, and he comes back. Comes back, staying with it, not forgetting the fact he was blocked. Comes up with a block of his own. And that ball will belong to Russia after the missed dunk by Green. And he lost it on the way up.
Mobley sat for a long time. He's really highly regarded,
Yep.
Mobley. And he's another one that physically not on the level of a Reginald Perry or even Williams at this moment in time. He has all the talent in the world.
Whistle on the plate. He shooting throws.
Some see him as the most highly ranked of all of these Americans, a potential #1 player in the class of 2020. You can see why with that block.
Milovsky again on the free throw line, goes 2 for 2 to a 20-point game. The short two is no good, but the ball just rebounds. Oh, nice find. And that's I think the third dunk in a row that the United States has missed.
It's a really open one as well. Mobley will be frustrated about that one.
Again, it looked like it slipped out of his hands before he tried to throw it down. Adjushev again, outside. In the lane, little floater this time, gets the roll, and he's now showing his ability to put it on the floor and get into the keyway. So impressive is Adjushev. Lewis tries to open out, see what he has, clears out this side, steps back, long three is long. And Russia again with numbers again, look down the floor. Easy two.
Making the score respectable now, aren't they, Russia?
And to be quite honest, on their second half performance, they deserve it being a little bit more of a tighter game. The foul, and we will see Mobley shoot the throws. Again, you made the point. Mobley looks like he's got all the raw materials.
Yeah. 7-foot frame. He's going to take a little time to get there in Mobley, but most of the best schools, and as I say, some see him as the #1 player in that group coming out next year.
It's a really nice touch on the free throw, makes the first. And goes 2 for 2. Just about the last minute of at times what's been a really entertaining game. Russia in that third quarter really did just surprise a few people in the gym. Great work on the glass. Ball is blocked. Dolan will go to the free throw line. Chance to put it back to 16. It's the problem that any team is going to have in this competition with the United States as well. If you don't do a good job in the half court and they come up with steals or missed shots opportunities, and you don't stop the break at source, they're going to run, and they're so effective. All spots, 1 to 5, will literally outwork you. Defensive rebound is hauled in by Williams, and he shows a little handle. Puts it up, doesn't get the 2 to drop. Foul as he's going through the lane.
More free throws to come.
More free throws to come.
Yeah, he did get him. Lewis got him on the arm.
And neither team, in fact, the Russians have shot the free throw significantly worse than the United States in a game that they had to be significantly better to have any hope of being in. The second one is good. Lewis spending a lot of time with the ball before it gets it into anything. And the long 2 is good.
Good finish for Russia. It was an impressive second half performance. Didn't quite have enough in that fourth period, did they? But they made it interesting and made a good game of it, especially in the third. All credit to them, but the Americans just too much strength and depth.
Well, and that will do it. The coaches will shake on it. And the United States of America have a 95 to 80 point victory. A large contingent of traveling US fans enjoyed that one. Well, they've enjoyed parts of it, definitely. And Coach Pashudin makes his way to the locker room after shaking hands with the officials. And I think he'll be happy, if you ever can be happy, when you take the loss, as his team are on the wrong end of a 95 to 80 scoreline. Here's going to be confirmation of that. The only numbers that really matter, 95 and 80. The United States progress into the semi-final of the FIBA U19 Basketball World Cup. And the Russians will drop into the classification games for 5th to 8th. Going to look at the statistics now. And USA in the end, 49% from 2, but from the three-point line, only 19. Russian numbers just balance themselves out a little bit. The rebounds balance themselves out a lot, and I think that's a lot down to the Russian third quarter. But 29 assists for the United States. You mentioned it the whole time. Lloyd just shared the ball perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, the Americans did what they're supposed to do, did what they had to, right? And I think they'll be frustrated with their third quarter, as well as Russia played. I think the Americans will believe that that was on them. So they had that huge performance from Reggie Perry to help them. But job done for America. They move on, and now they've got to get ready for Lithuania.
Well, there's the rest of the stats, and Bedushev is all over those. What a game for the Russian. Did a marvelous job. Led the scorers. Had a couple of steals. So that will do it for the third quarterfinal of today. Only one more game to go, the nightcap game, when France and the defending champions Canada will face off. But for now, from Lloyd and I, from the Heraclon Arena, we'll see you soon for the nightcap game, France and Canada.